Okay.
Good morning, Art Beauty Equilibrium podcast family, coming to you live from Los Angeles, California. Episode, are you sure it's 287?
Yeah, 287.
Okay, episode 287.
287 for sure. Final answer.
All right.
Morning, everybody.
George, what you got for us today?
First of all, let's just give a hand to those Dodgers before we even get into it. That was a marathon.
Wait a minute. Freeman did a
He did it again.
walk-off homer, homie, again.
Shout out to those
Bottom to the
Dodgers.
18th. Bottom to Millennial Tricks for this dope hat. Man, dude, did you see the game? It was amazingly long. Pause.
Otani
Jesus.
set a world record. He got on base 9 times.
Woo.
Wow.
That
9
boy was
times.
on fire.
Yeah, crazy.
Man, look. I was mad that he got that out on when he stole the base. He just had he just had a little too much grit.
Oh yeah. But
Man,
needless to say,
Dodgers is up
heck
2-1.
of a game.
We up, baby.
Yes.
So we up in that thing. But moving on to the episode.
I'm
Let's
tired
get
from that
into
game
it.
last night.
So question. Should social media influencers need a government-approved diploma, if you will, to talk about your health or money or certain topics? We're going to talk about it. That's what China's doing. So it's influencer police. China is they have a new mandate that will require creators to get certain credentials to talk about certain things. You just can't talk about stuff no more.
Wow.
So we're going to talk about, is this necessary to protect consumers? Also, we have the SNAP benefits coming to an end, the EBT. We're going to talk about that crisis. And also, we have a food giveaway that is right here in LA to kind of help with that. If anybody does need food that is on EBT and won't be able to get their benefits. And also the AI versus the cashier. There's some new smart shopping carts that just came out to chip away at the job market yet again. So you might see even less people in the store. They got the whole shopping cart is checking you out now. And
Wow.
Dream Chat. Scientists have successfully communicated between two people in their dreams. So let's get into it. First of all, the SNAP crisis, right? The federal shutdown has halted the November's disbursement, and everybody's kind of like, what is about to happen? Because food is food. That's one of the basic necessities.
Yeah, that is very unfortunate, especially so soon. I know some of us saw it coming, but pause.
Go ahead.
But it arrived so abruptly. Yeah. So it's gonna be tough out there. It's gonna be very tough.
I mean, I don't think that at this point they're playing fair. And sometimes
no.
I question if politicians have the people in mind, because I don't understand these decisions, and I know that a lot of people need help, and it's always some sort of red tape when it comes to just taking care of people and doing things for one another. And I just feel like this is like a scary.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I'm like, whoa.
Rookie move.
It's a little risky right there. What's going on? Yeah, I don't understand if they're making like decisions for the people.
No. Just like the government shutdown, everybody's not getting paid, but the people up top. If you're gonna do a shutdown, everybody needs to not get paid. But once again, going back to the SNAP, we're talking about people's way to eat, and this is gonna get scary because that just means that the streets are going to get even more crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and also feel like, politics, they take advantage of situations like this to kind of push their own agenda when they know that that's going to be ultimately this is a crisis that's being
Super
created that's not impacting the people that's creating it, that at the same time is putting pressure on people. Like people are going to want immediate action like for this. So the question that I thought was pretty interesting about this is like, who ultimately bears the moral responsibility when the government fails to provide in this way? It's all don't get me wrong, it's all help, it's all benefits, it's all blessings, but when you have a shutdown like this, like, who does that rest on? Is it the local community? Is it the corporations, politicians? Like, who ultimately is going to pick up the slack? Like, we do have a local food giveaway November 1st at 401 East Hillcrest Boulevard to help bridge the gap from not having food stamps. So on November 1st, if you would like to, there's going to be a food drive in Inglewood, California on November 1st at 401 East Hillcrest Boulevard. Okay. That's going to be that's put on by community organizers. They normally do this once a month, but they're going to add this date in there as well to kind of help. So,
silver lining is going to get people off their butt, and it's going to help the community get back to being the community. So I hate to put it like that, but, I hope something good comes out of this.
And I think that we do all hold a responsibility, Jason, to your point, because that's a very good statement to me as far as how my heart is. We should all do something. So let's talk about it right now. Do you guys want to get together today and maybe like start a food drive? Because we don't know who's affected. We don't know if any customers. It may be somebody right outside these doors that may need help. But I just think that sometimes as a community, we're so used to people doing things for us instead of just getting together and doing things
Right.
and helping each other. So I think that this is like an opportunity for us to say, you know what, we have to all stand in the gap, And as you know, in the RBD Equilibrium podcast, we're always talking about, we're always giving information, you know what I mean? And
Right.
sometimes we hear feedback from, we're basically delivering the message, People come with us about programs, they share opportunities. We're giving the information to, it's like thousands of people we have access to,
Right.
And sometimes we do hear feedback about how people did not even call their number, about people still didn't join the program,
Right.
Yeah.
So sometimes that when you hear those things and then you see things like this happening now, that really makes you think like, how can we bridge that gap with people needing so much help, and then there's still being opportunity out here, but how can we get the people who need help to get into the opportunities and step up and do the things that are like going to be helpful in the future? That's like the thing that really bothers me at times. How can we get people directly doing the things that we're talking about?
That makes I understand what you're saying, and I don't know. You can lead a horse to water, but you already know the rest of that.
I think starting the conversations is the first step. Being aware and then starting conversations and making plans and executing them. So
definitely
I think
making the
this is first step.
plans and executing it. Definitely.
All right, we got to move on though. smart shopping carts and the end of the cashier job. So now, you know how they had self-checkout lines already, and then you know how some stores have switched to AI where you don't
Like
need to interact with anybody.
Amazon Market, yeah.
Now they're putting the cash register right on the shopping cart. So the new shopping carts that are coming out have like a touchscreen kiosk on them, and put your groceries in there and leave. So this is, it's a new, yet another piece of technology that's ending jobs in real time. And I'm like, wow, this is happening so fast. And it makes us think, how we used to have a conversation of like, don't go to the self-checkout line.
Right.
Don't go to the ATM.
So what you gonna do now? Go to the shopping cart?
See what I'm saying? And now it's full circle to where it's just moving so fast. Like we went from having that conversation, talking about this is taken away from jobs, to now it's like, oh, we way past that now.
Yeah.
The thing is that I still notice that even when you go to like the self-checkout, there are still people who actually assist you heavily in the self-checkout. So I'm wondering if the baskets are going to still provide some way for people
That's what
to
the
have.
baskets look like.
Yeah. Because even if
That's
you have
at
a
Amazon
basket,
Fresh.
That's the basket.
Yeah, so
That's
think
at
about
Amazon
it. Who's
Fresh
going to
right
be
now.
the assistant
Yep.
for the basket? Because in some
Boom.
ways they still need help.
Right.
I mean, it's
That's
still
now.
gonna be someone there to assist, but now you got to think because I know when I go on Target, it's about what 8 to 10 self checkouts, and it's one person helping with that 8 to 10 checkouts. So you got to think it's 8 to 10 cash registers, and it's each person at a cash register. Man, yeah. So it's gonna be even worse.
Yeah. No,
You know,
facts.
it may be somebody there to help bag up the groceries, but you probably gonna have to do that yourself.
You won't even need to be in line.
So what about all the stores that have all that stuff locked up? Because that's a huge.
Probably going to have to scan something to open the case.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, it's glass cases at most stores, like everywhere.
You probably have to scan something to
Deodorant,
open the case,
underwear.
and if you take something, they're gonna already have your information.
Right.
They're like civilian number 3974.
See?
Put the deodorant down,
Boo.
or lethal force will be used. Yes. Okay. Moving on. So China's influencer diploma mandate the end of unqualified expertise, perhaps. Let's talk about it. So, who is an expert, right? That's the question. So the Chinese regulations requires verified credentials / certifications for influencers discussing sensitive topics like finance, law, medicine, and education. So how do y'all feel about this? Is this something that you would like to see come to the United States? Is this something that you think is necessary?
Absolutely.
Or should anybody be able to talk about anything?
Absolutely not.
Okay, so where does freedom of speech stop and start with this?
Well, I think freedom of speech is different from displaying information that could be false, as far as health or things to that nature. Where we're talking about, health and things that can really, benefit or really, really harm you. So if there is no
I see what you're saying with that. I'm gonna be honest. I'm a little torn with this one because on one hand, a diploma would be nice, and you do see a lot of people that you're
at
like,
least a certificate.
and you're like, man, you don't know what the hell you're talking about, right? Like,
Yeah.
like especially like just take our industry for instance. There are all kind of people that speak on hair care and hair health, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly.
So I feel you on when you say that, but also where does experience play a role in that? Some people are amazing at what they do, never went to school for it, could be self-taught, could have learned through just experience. Like it's a lot of nuances. And then on the flip side, some people went to school and don't know what the hell they're talking about. So it's kind of like, I think they're on the right track. I would like to see something with that, but you know what I mean? Like I'm kind of torn because I'm like, yet again, we're gonna be using the government to say who can talk about things and who can't. And we all know when we relinquish power to these oversight committees, it usually ends up
Overseers.
in suppression of information and freedom of speech being infringed upon. So I'm like, who do you trust with saying you can talk about this or you can't talk about that? Like, who gets? Because it's like, you remember we got dinged a few times for discussing our personal political views. It wasn't trying to tell. Wasn't trying to tell anybody to do this or that, and they're like, "Oh, you need a license to talk about politics," you know. So I'm a little torn with that. I understand it's a need to kind of police information.
You said politics.
It's all gonna be in the same.
Definitely politics, man, because it's so much false information about politics in the news.
You talking about on the TV too?
Exactly.
I'm sure they gonna have their credentials.
So yes, I think there should be if you're gonna spread any type of information or news to the public, right?
Yeah.
You should just be held accountable. Period. So, if it's not true, you should get fined for slander or something, or.
But here's the cold part about it, right? What's not true today can be proven true tomorrow. You know what I mean? So it's kind of
okay. Well, this
just
is
think
my
about
thing.
this. How many things have been said early, and people have been deplatformed and they faced all those strikes on their account, just for a year later to be like, oh, you know what, that was right.
Well, I think that if there is a situation that comes about, that it should be brought up against a board or something to make sure that it's either absolutely true or absolutely false before there is a fine or some type of penalty, and then proceed from there.
Yeah, but see, and that's why I'm torn, because what you just said, that makes sense, right? But sometimes the board themselves are the people that are determining what's true or false or factual or inaccurate, false information. They themselves come out later and say, "Oh, you know what? We were wrong."
Yeah.
And in the meantime, you face immediate action.
Well, then they need to have somebody who's in charge, who's responsible for.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry,
the things that they saying are right or wrong.
I just feel like it'll change again because every time we've been doing this, we just announced today that this is our 287th episode, right? So how many times have we been sitting here and we see all these rules and all these things change? It was just a few months ago when we didn't even know if TikTok was going to be here.
True. Facts.
So these things change with the times, and I feel like that's not going to stop people from saying things because it's stuff that's, I just feel like people should just take heed because the times it is what it is. Social media is becoming like more of like a book these days than people actually reading. And people used to tell us, read, but when they're reading online and now they're listening online, you have to do the same thing as if you did read a book. Use your own judgment, Nobody's telling you to directly listen and align with the things that you hear online. Do your own research, like think through what you want to, think through what you want to do, because it's like they call them influencers for a reason. They're here to prompt you to do things. They're here because people are making decisions based on these things. People are suggesting things, and then people are going directly to what they're suggesting and doing it. So just take heed of what you're listening to and doing, and take responsibility and some accountability, and don't make decisions based off of what you directly hear. Just think through it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I just think it's a great idea. It's a great concept, right? But I think it's dangerous anytime you start saying it always becomes dangerous to me when you say, who's going to make this decision? Who's determining if something is factual? Who's determining if you should be deemed like or approved to be able to discuss things,
I mean, that just comes down to ethics, and everybody that's involved with things, their ethics gets compromised by either, the fast buck or or some to that nature. So
Exactly, because a lot
it's
of these are privately owned
yeah.
corporations to
So
begin with, so it's really no freedom of speech on a private platform. But
you got to think about politics. There's more companies, private sectors that donate to both parties just so they can get things going and move the way they want them to move.
for instance, you got the president currently. Do they have degrees to be qualified to speak about things on their platforms? You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness!
I'm
See,
just saying.
G about to have them come after us.
No. I'm just saying, like, it applies to everybody. So when you
does.
start requiring degrees to speak about things,
So you need something, man.
on the silver lining part, that would, they're talking about colleges, kind of becoming less and less of a viable option for a lot of young people right now because of the job market.
I
That
was
would
about to say the
increase
less,
the
yeah,
that would
there's no
increase the
employment.
need.
Yeah,
That would increase the need for a degree, a diploma right there. If you knew, and it would kind of legitimize being an influencer, So there is some silver lining there, and I'm not saying I'm against it or for it, but I'm just saying I feel like let's take this real easy and really think about. It's almost like you're making a new constitution online.
I
So
agree.
I'm like, hey, you gotta really think about this, like, because once
But-
you open up this can of
But we
worms,
do need a new constitution. We do.
I'm just saying, like,
That-
who's gonna write it? Is the
I don't
you know
problem.
what? I just feel like this. Think
Because our
about it.
constitution is prehistoric.
If you start vilifying just the freedom of speech, what's next? And
That's
I
my
think
point.
that's what we have to think about.
That's my point.
I
This
feel
is
that
step one.
I feel there should be freedom of speech within reason. So you should have your freedom to say what you will, right? But once again, just like how you can get sued for slander,
Right.
Even though it's freedom of speech, you
See
get sued for that.
See, that law is already in effect, and that still applies even online. My question is this: if I'm a privately owned corporation, and now you tell me I can legally deplatform people for being, unqualified to speak on certain topics, now that opens the door for, what if my business over here that is part of my conglomerate doesn't want this thing to be talked about? I could just deem you unfit,
True, but once
and we
again,
can start suppressing information.
like I said, I do feel like there should be some type of channel to go through before you can just deem somebody, before you can just label somebody unfit or wrong or something. Like you can't just come out and be like, oh,
Okay, now that part right there, that's what I believe. Hate to be a cynic when it comes to that, but I believe that oversight would be abused. Period. They're gonna have some type of rush, 24-hour rapid platform. It's gonna be something like you got to show your credentials. You might have to show your credentials to even talk about things to begin with. So I think they might just tell you, hey, if you're not gonna follow these guidelines, I just see the potential for that to be abused as it sits right now. So I think it's a good idea. It means well, but we gotta figure out what they're doing, and let's see how it goes. China's the first that I've heard of doing it, so let's see what their people are saying, how it impacts them. But that is our show, I believe, man.
I have some announcements really quickly.
Make
I
some
know we're running
announcements.
late. Sorry. Since the Salon sponsors, thank you so much for coming out to our grand opening. It
Man.
was a wonderful event on Sunday,
y'all
the 26th.
need to go check out that salon.
Thank you, everyone, for
Woo!
participating in the
Beautiful.
grand opening. Thank you to our sponsors, Honey Nut Cocoa, Wella, Evolve Bundles and Lashes. Special thanks to Mimi G, Jason, Lyndon, Sean, Moments by Mari Booth, Mike's Deli, Frederick Scott Khadija, Lady Blackbird. Thank you so much for appearing at our grand opening, blessing us with the soundscape that you did. December 1st at Blue Note, check out Lady Blackbird. December 1st, right here in LA. Jazz, psychedelic, classic soul are her specialties, rock and and pop as well as gospel. Thank you so much for the Art Beat
Hello.
Equilibrium podcast listeners. Thank you for sticking by us. And most of all, thank you for supporting us along the way. Thank you so much, guys.
Well
Yes.
said.
Very well said.
All right.
All
Love
right,
y'all.
Make sure you like, subscribe, and share. It's free 99. We will see y'all next week. And go do your ass.
Dodgers!
Yes.
Kick it up.